Oasis Audio presents Into the Storm by Josh B. Turner, read for you by the author. To Aiden and Riley, the two best teachers I've ever had, I am so very proud to be your dad. And to my wife, Becca, who always believes in me even when I doubt myself, I can't imagine walking through any of life's storms without you by my side. Forward by Joby Martin. I want to start by saying that I love Josh Turner. He's been a good friend of mine for quite a while. I've had the honor of getting to serve as a pastor in Jacksonville, Florida since 2003, and for most of that time, Josh served as a pastor at another church here in town, and we've gotten to lead through a lot together. Like Josh, I also love a good Western, and since I'm a child of the 80s, the best Western in my opinion is Young Guns. Nothing says the Wild West like some great 80s metal guitar riffs. Josh is one of the few people that I'd sneak out at night for and write "Pal" on his tombstone like Doc did for Billy. He's not only been a good friend, though, he's also been a good guide amid storms I've had to walk through. Living in Jacksonville, Florida means I've had to learn a few things about storms. From June to November every year, most of us in Florida have our eyes on the winds coming off the coast of Africa. As those winds blow out into the Atlantic Ocean, they hit pockets of warm water and grow into tropical storms. As those tropical storms near the currents in the Caribbean, they pick up speed and move from Category 1 storms to as high as Category 5. I've experienced a lot of storms in my time in Jacksonville. I've seen the difference between each of those categories and the impact they can have. The experiences have helped me become somewhat of a student of storms, so here are a few things I've learned about them. First, storms come for all of us. I've never experienced a storm season without a storm. Like clockwork, you can count on the summer storms rolling in. Not all storm seasons are as intense as others, but all storm seasons bring storms. In Jesus' most famous sermon, the Sermon on the Mount, in Matthew 5-7, Jesus talks about the reality of storms. Preaching to the crowd, Jesus says, "Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain fell and the floods came and the winds blew and beat on that house. But it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain fell and the floods came and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it." Matthew 7:24-27. What's interesting about this part of the sermon is that if most of us had written this, we would have said that the storms came to those who built their houses on the sand, but not those who built their houses on the rock. We're so hardwired for moralistic outcomes in our culture. That's not what Jesus says, though. Jesus is clear that the storms come to both. While some storms are the result of bad decisions, all storms are designed by God for a purpose. God sends storms to press us closer to Him and His heart. The Prince of Preachers, Charles Spurgeon, once said, "I have learned to kiss the wave that threw me into the rock of ages." No one in life avoids the storms. We all weather the storms, and like Spurgeon said, they will either throw us into the arms of our loving Heavenly Father or drown us. You may be in the middle of a downpour right now. Your life may be absolutely upside down and inside out. You can cry out to God. You can call upon Him to save you. You cannot avoid storms in life, but you don't have to be defined by them. The second thing I know about storms is that they reveal what's beneath the surface. In the book of Jonah, we read about a storm the Lord caused. The Lord hurled a great wind upon the sea, and there was a mighty tempest on the sea, so that the ship threatened to break up. Then the mariners were afraid, and each cried out to his God. And they hurled the cargo that was in the ship into the sea to lighten it for them. But Jonah had gone down into the inner part of the ship and had lain down and was fast asleep. So the captain came and said to him, "What do you mean, you sleeper? Arise, call out to your God. Perhaps the God will give a thought to us that we may not perish." Jonah 1:4-6. Hebrew commentaries on this text tell us the storm was unique because it was a localized storm only affecting that ship. Every other ship on the Mediterranean Sea that day could see something was special about this ship. Keep in mind that the mariners on this ship were professionals, and this localized storm had to be turbulent enough to compel them to throw the cargo overboard. They would have lightened their load only as a final measure to save their lives. If you keep reading in Jonah 1, you will see how the mariners cast lots to see who on the ship was the cause of the storm. And the lot fell to Jonah. He then realized what was going on and asked the mariners to throw him overboard. As soon as they did, we read in verse 15,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?